So it seems as though this virus came from, as we mentioned, Wuhan, China. They've seemed to have pinpointed this to an animal market. In fact, a number of the people that were hospitalized, and we'll talk about that article in The Lancet, came from this animal market. And as of January 25th, 2020, they estimate about 1,300 people have been infected, and about 41 people to date, as of January 25th, have died. And of course, this number is expected to go up. Where is it spread to? Well, other than China and Asia, this has spread already to Australia, France, and the United States. Specifically, 2 cases, one in Chicago, a woman in Chicago, and a man in Washington State. And we'll talk more about that. We expect that to go up. But what really is going on with a coronavirus? And why is this one so different? So we've known about coronaviruses for a long time. It's an RNA virus, so we know that. And let's face it, there's coronaviruses all over the place in humans, and they usually cause the common cold. What's unusual about this one is that this one seems to have jumped from one that is already in an animal to that being in a human. So there's tons of coronaviruses that infect animals. But what has seemed to have happened here for the first time is this one has jumped into a human that a human hasn't seen before. And how could that happen? Well, it could be from a mutation, and that's typically what happens, is there's a mutation in the protein in this virus that allows it to bind to human proteins. And that allows the virus to get inside of the cells of humans. And if it can replicate, then it can spread throughout that human body and then perhaps spread to another human body. So what needs to happen? There has to be a mutation. And that mutation is already there in the animal. And then there has to be close contact with that animal, either living with that animal or eating that animal, to get that mutated virus that normally lives in an animal into the human being. So when that virus then gets into the human being, it's got to be able to replicate so that there's more viruses, and then it has to be able to spread to another human being, and that is what's going to cause an epidemic. So how does that happen? Well, there's got to be replication, as we just said. And they believe that that virus can replicate inside the human. And then how does it spread to another human? As opposed to just another animal spreading it to another human, well, the way that you get an epidemic is with replication occurring inside that person, that index infected person, and then it spreads. How would it spread? Well, it could spread by airborne, so that's why you'd want to wear a mask, or close contact, so a loved one, contaminated surfaces, so that's why you'd have to wash your hands very carefully, or rarely fecal contamination. But these are the things that you can attack to prevent the spread of this virus.